out there, I think, is the best way to describe it when Mayo teams are playing at any level of a competition. But next Sunday obviously is a very important day for two Mayo teams contesting the All-Ireland Minor and Senior Football Championship semi-finals at Croke Park against Kerry, the mighty kingdom, in both encounters. And Club 51 obviously will be very involved in rallying the troops for next weekend's games. I'm delighted to welcome onto the programme now Anne-Marie Flynn of Club 51. Good afternoon to you, Anne-Marie.
Hi Angelina, how are you?
I'm very good. Well, listen, how are you? We were speaking just over email the last couple of days. The nerves have kicked in, I think, for all Mayo supporters, haven't they?
I think so, Angelina. Now, yeah, we're very much at the business end of the season, as they put it, and everything is kind of starting to go down to the wire a little bit now. So, yeah, the nerves are definitely kicking in, but it's a great time of year and we're just delighted to be there again.
Absolutely. Fantastic time of the year to be involved. So many counties would love to be involved at this time of the year. But just for people out there who might not be aware of the Club 51 thing, and I know that Tommy did a nice piece on this a few months back, but it's an interesting initiative. I think it's a fantastic initiative. The website is fabulous. I had a look at it a couple of times, but again this week after we were chatting. But it's something that is an interesting initiative as well at the back of it all.
Yeah, it is. It was formed, just to give you a little bit of background about it, I suppose. Club 51 was formed last October, after the last All-Ireland final, and I think that particular loss hit a lot of people hard, and there was a lot of despondency and a lot of negativity and a general wondering, how are we going to pick ourselves back up and get back on the road here? And a few of us kind of got together and decided, well, let's do something about this. So we decided we'd form a group just to get together and to try and rally the troops for another go in 2014. And I think a little bit of background to that is as well. There was quite a bit of commentary in the national media just about the levels of support, or the levels of noise, I suppose, within the ground on the day. And I think what Club 51 wanted to do is just to encourage all supporters just to get together on and off the pitch, just to get behind the boys and the women, because they work hard out on the pitch. At the end of the day, they put in a lot of effort. It's an amateur sport, and really our aim was just to get behind them, be the 16th man, and also just to bring a bit of fun and positivity as well back to being a Mayo supporter, because sometimes it's painted as a bit of a dreary process. You know, it's hard at the best of times, but it was really just to bring a bit of fun back into it, I think, as well.
Absolutely, and it is, sometimes it can be, something that sits with Mayo supporters, that despondency, and this has brought maybe a different element back into it. Now, you mentioned there what was made of the noise factor in that All-Ireland final last year, and a lot was made of it, that Mayo supporters went very quiet, be it from, a feeling of dread when things weren't going well. But what you're saying is, if this were to happen, touch wood, next Sunday, that's not what we should be doing. We should be, at that stage, getting behind the team.
Absolutely. I think, there was a palpable silence, I think, in Croke Park with about 10 minutes to go last September. And it's, you can't blame any Mayo supporter for that. It's really hard to do when you kind of see the writing on a wall, almost, in a sense. But at that stage of the game, there were 10 minutes to go, and it just would have been a good time to stand up and let the team know we were behind them. Maybe it might have made a difference, maybe it might not. But what we'd be trying to do is just to try and get that level of noise up next Sunday. And as you say, if things start going wrong, then is the time to stand up and be counted. It might make no difference, it might make some difference, but let's do it anyway and see.
I mean, watching the game in Croke Park against Cork, it did seem to me like there were just Mayo supporters in the ground at parts of the day. Throughout the minor, throughout the Galway-Kerry game, and again for the Mayo-Cork game.
It did feel like that. It definitely did feel like that. I think in terms of noise and colour, Mayo support on the day was absolutely fantastic. At the end of the day, Mayo supporters are such a loyal bunch. They travel in such high numbers. They're always there, They're just a fantastic, resilient bunch of people. So it was great to see, and it was great especially to see all the colour in the ground in Croke Park versus Cork as well. People had flags and everyone was wearing the red and green and stuff, so it was great. So more of that is what
so
we're
that's
after, really.
And that's what you're really saying, Anne-Marie. If you're going to Croke Park next Sunday, deck yourself out. It doesn't have to be official expensive jerseys if you can, but deck yourself out in the green and red, bring a flag, make plenty of noise and make your presence felt.
That's exactly it, Angelina. That's exactly it. Just make your presence felt. It can be hard, against certain opposition. It can be really hard not to be drowned out. You see the likes of Dublin or whatever. It can be very hard to stand up against a wall of noise like that. But let's give it a go and see how it goes. And there's lots of other elements as well to Club 51. We do things like organise meetups before games, carpooling competitions, charity events, that kind of thing, and just sharing news and information as well on our Facebook and Twitter site. So it's really just about the supporter side of things.
Yeah, and I'd say there's a great social element to that too, with all of the other events you run round it.
Yeah, it's been fantastic so far. We've had meetups before nearly all of the away league games this year. So, for example, in Mullingar, we had a get-together before that day in Cusack Park. I think you might remember it just lashed rain all day. So a local business in the town there, the Greville Arms, laid on some food for us, and we just all got to meet up before the game and chat with the supporters and stuff. So there is a nice sense of community there and a nice social element to it as well, and that's just growing and growing, which is brilliant.
Yeah, and there's plenty of information available, as I said, on a great website, your Club 51 website. You're on Twitter, you're on Facebook, you're available on any sort of social media outlet that people might want to link in with.
That's right. You can get us on Facebook if you do a search for Club 51, Twitter at Mayo Club 51, and if anybody wants to get in touch, they can email us at mayoclub51@gmail.com.
OK, well, Anne-Marie, listen, I hope there's plenty of noise, plenty of atmosphere next Sunday while we're chewing our nails. And thanks so much for joining us.
Not at all.
OK, take care, Anne-Marie. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. That's Anne-Marie Flynn on behalf of Club 51 joining us today. So just make yourself heard, make your presence felt in Croke Park next Sunday. I think it's a great initiative, a bit of feel-good around the whole thing, because as Anne-Marie said there, I think there was a lot of despondency. I was one of those despondent Mayo supporters after the All-Ireland last year, and that's quite understandable. Nice to have that element and that level of support. Perhaps some might call it a bit of a support group as well for Mayo supporters, but don't. We need it at times, and make your presence felt next Sunday at Croke Park if you're going. And on that note, just a little thing that I just has popped into my head to mention as well to people this week, just for people around about the county. It doesn't have to be just businesses, but businesses, households, anywhere in the county of Mayo. We have 2 teams in All-Ireland semi-final action next week. Get the flags out, get the bit of colour out, and just show your support that way as well. It's great to see the county decked out, and I know people have been here before, and we know that teams have been here before. This is the 3rd year on the trot, the 4th year on the trot that will be in the All-Ireland semi-final, and I know that's difficult, but we have the reigning All-Ireland minor champions and the senior finalists from last year in semi-final action again. So get your colours out and lend a bit of support. It's great to see it when it's decked out as well. Just the latest from that All-Ireland under 16B semi-final.